think we're live.
Nice. Being live is good.
Hello there, sir.
Hello.
How are you today?
So far, so good. You know, it's a snow day here down in Durham region. No buses. Buses are canceled. And the kids are home. But other than that, it's great. Christmas holiday continues. How
It
about you?
is, yeah, that's crazy. It's not a snow. It's funny because like you guys have had way more snow days than us. It's raining here, so I mean we don't have any snow right now, so that makes sense. But even when we had, I think equally as much snow as you at some point in December, you guys had a snow day and we did not.
Yeah, well, see, for us, even if it was raining right now, they would call for a snow day. They'd be like,
Right,
oh, but it's going to be the rain's going to turn to ice and then the bus is going to slip and then it's going to end up in a ditch. So everyone
right.
should not go to school today.
They're just overprotective.
Yeah, I mean, it works for the kids. Like if I was a kid, I wouldn't be complaining, but as
Yeah,
an adult, I'm a little
for
upset about
sure. So how were your holidays that are still going?
it. The holidays have been great. We had a great Christmas. We had family over and all that good stuff. And New Year's, we did karaoke, which was fun. We had
That
a
was
bunch of
fun.
hockey. We got out on the ponds. We did some sledding. We did arts and crafts. You know, all the fun stuff that you do when you have 4 kids and
Yeah,
that sort of thing. So,
good
what
stuff.
about you?
We went north to my mother's in Manitoulin Island.
Hmm.
Built a snowman, made a gingerbread house, went sliding, all the things you do with one kid.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like 2025 was crazy. On New Year's we got to like do a bit of a we were talking about all the things that we were happy about and you know from 2025 and all that kind of stuff
Mhm.
and we kind of do that every year. We talk about our goals for 2026 and
Nice.
we talk about what was like our favorite moments of 2025 and you know we had some pretty cool moments with keep me posted in 2025. Obviously like some of the big ones were like expands, like both the expands were pretty cool. Those are pretty fun. Getting to kind of film like 20 some odd episodes of a podcast and then like being there the whole weekend. Like the first one was in Edmonton, Alberta, which was cool. I got to bring Kanan, my son, which was fun. And
You mean
it's
my
just
son?
you and my son. And so that was fun. It was cool to get to travel with him. And then we got to play golf.
Mhm. I
And
meant I meant how everyone thought it was my son.
oh yeah. Like there's no way it's that guy's kid. It's this guy's.
Mm. Yeah, no, that was cool. Played chip and what was it? Chip and
Little
putt?
chip and putt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. It was my first time ever being at an actual chip and putt. I've heard about them before, but that was like, but it was also my first time to experience Edmonton because I'd been to
Well, and
Edmonton.
you're usually used to like going to Chip and Dale shows, right? Rather
Correct.
than chip and putt.
So,
Yeah.
so this was a big difference. More holes, 9 of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good. And we did a giveaway and we did we gave away a content creator pack. Remember that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Did we?
Yeah, we definitely did. Yeah.
Did we give it away though?
We did. We gave it to somebody.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what else did we do? That was fun there. We met a lot of cool people actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's a whole like it's the thing is we get so lost in our own little bubbles of Canada, Ontario, whatever. So going like I used to tour so much, so I would get to go to all these different places all the time. But since I've been kind of stuck with a family, like I don't go to these places as often. So it's cool to go to a place like Edmonton where you wouldn't just normally go, right? It's not really a destination. It's off like even going across Canada, it's north. It's not on the Trans Canada.
Right.
Anyways, I digress. It's like it's just cool to go and see, other parts of Canada. There's other things going on there, other people doing other things and different I don't want to say cultures, but you know what I mean.
But it was cool because we kind of had a game plan going into there, which was like kind of be very visible. We had a booth there. We were filming the event. We did the
Mhm.
podcast, and then we were filming a bunch of the speakers. And the plan really worked because we got new clients. We met new people, made some great connections. We met some people that'll probably be clients in the future. Just good networking done there. But yeah, like we now we're visiting Alberta and once, twice, 3, 4 times a year because we have clients out there,
Mhm.
which is cool. And so now it's not just a place we went to. It's a place that we not only went to, we actually were able to achieve some success there. And
Yeah.
yeah, now we're able to help out some people out there, and just kind of furthers because once you start helping a group of people, all of a sudden they start referring you to other people, and then all of a sudden that's how it grows, right? And so I think that was really cool. And just again, like kind of bringing my son out there to travel and stuff
Yeah.
was cool, and he got to help us, and that was fun. And but a lot of other cool things that we did. I remember we went to the I believe it was last year when we went to like the home show.
The home show. That last year?
I think it was
So hard to.
it was either the beginning of last year or the end of the previous year. But
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I remember the home show was cool.
Mhm.
What else did we do last year? Well, there was the other expand, obviously.
Yeah.
There was
Well, and then the podcast in between, that's ongoing, with Wealth Genius and,
yeah.
just other clients. It was a busy year either way. Ryan's a cool one, talking about
Yeah, like
Alberta again. He's creating some really cool content, telling his story. So I like that one a lot. And Tara, also in Alberta, is great cause, and just I love that we get to do such different stuff.
yeah, and like
Love doing the
Freedom
typical
Tree.
real estate stuff, but then when you get to kind of produce some stuff that's outside of the box, it's very cool.
Tara with Freedom Tree is really cool because she is really making an impact. Like
Mhm.
obviously, somewhat she's making impact locally, but like in Africa, Sierra Leone specifically, she is making such an impact, and the stuff that she's doing is so cool. Like stuff that like obviously you and I was never on our vision board, for example, right? Like she's
Mhm.
building birthing clinics,
Yeah.
she's building schools, right? And like the cool part about that is that she's also invited us to actually go to Africa. So like this year, it's like the seeds you plant in the one year, they start growing the next year. And it's like
Mhm.
now this year she's invited us to go in July to go to Sierra Leone in Africa to go and document what's happening there. And they're finishing up the first school. We're going to go look at some of the birthing clinics and just like meeting a lot of the people, like some of the
Yeah.
people that are involved in it, the community, and being able to tell their stories. So that's pretty cool. Like it's awesome. I love what she's doing. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's cool. Like you go to an expand, like we were just talking about, like you go to the expand and you meet some people, and then all of a sudden we go back again and filming with Tara and like starting to understand even more about her vision and what she's got going on was so cool. And then it becomes content and it's now really helped her grow and grow her business. But back to Ryan, when I go out there to go film, like what are the chances I go film with the guy and we go to one of his buildings and all of a sudden his vehicle gets stolen and it's got all my documentation in it, and my drone, and now all of a sudden I'm stuck in Alberta for like 2 weeks. And like it's funny because we go there to film one thing and all of a sudden it becomes this whole other story, and now we have all this content it's still rolling out actually to tell that story about basically me getting stuck in Alberta and losing all my documentation and like all the struggles we had to go through in order to get to another vehicle for him. And he ends up buying a van or whatever, but we end up going through a rental and a U-Haul and a this and a that. We're driving all around town and driving like hundreds of kilometers, and then I missed a flight. I had to cancel a flight, and this, oh, it was nuts. And then
That's crazy, eh?
I end up
I
buying,
actually I know what happened, but I I forget it. So, like how big of an ordeal it was just to get back.
and I missed my son's birthday, and he's a cat guy, and everyone else in my family's like like everyone wants a dog, and so it's his birthday, so I'm missing his birthday. I feel bad, so I end up buying him a cat because while I'm in my times here in Alberta, I end up like babysitting these two cats the whole time. And like they were just like so cool, and I like loved the cats, you know what I mean? And then so I was like, I want to get a cat, and then I ended up buying my son a cat for his birthday.
When you got back.
No, my wife went and got it, and she
Okay.
sent me pictures of like cats and was like, "Oh," and then we
I
ended up.
thought you were gonna say I ended up keeping one of these cats, and
Well,
I
I
had this
almost
cat on
did.
my journey, and I brought this cat back with me.
I almost kept the cat, and I almost stole the van.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, but no, it
Desperate
was
times.
no, obviously not. But no, it was yeah, it was pretty cool. It was crazy. A
Mhm.
lot of people have been asking me about it. So whenever I see somebody I haven't seen in a while, they're like, "Hey, so like Alberta."
What
And I was
happened?
like, "Yeah,
And so you're going back
I am going back."
very
So
soon.
I go back to Alberta at the end of the month, and we're gonna be filming with Ryan, and I'm gonna film with Tara again. Also, a big connection that we made at that same expand, to touch on that one again, was Mario with the Real Estate Investors Summit at Sea,
Mhm.
and he kind of saw the way we were working, and he obviously, we met him and talked to him, and we got to like connect with him, and now all of a sudden he books us for the Real Estate Investor Summit at Sea,
Mhm.
and we're going to the ABC Islands in about a month. So February 14th we go,
Mhm.
and now all of a sudden the ABC Islands are we find out are extremely close to Venezuela, which Donald Trump decided to kind of go in there and do his business in Venezuela. So
Take down a dictator.
take down a dictator,
Yeah.
yes.
Just for the goodness of his heart.
Helping
Of
the people
the
of
people. Yeah.
Venezuela.
Yeah. They just happen to have oil.
They do happen to have a lot of oil.
Bonus. But yeah, I'm familiar with Venezuela.
Yeah, it's funny because I messaged you. I was like, "Do you realize how close the ABC Islands
I
are
actually
to
didn't though. I had no
Venezuela?"
idea. So I
And you
saw
were
you
like,
on the map. I
"No."
was like, oh
I'm
wow.
like, "Should this be of concern?" And you're like, "Well," and then you said your story, which was you can maybe tell the people.
Well, it was similar to yours getting stranded, in Alberta, but it was Venezuela during a revolution illegally. Um, yeah, I mean, I can go into the story. I guess I was going to make a TikTok about it
Well, you still
because
can. Don't let
yeah,
this take
because
away.
it's yeah. So I was traveling with my girlfriend through Central America. I was touring along the way. Her family, she's half Venezuelan, so we went Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela. So we're going Colombia to Venezuela by bus, and not really realizing, how iffy this part of the world is. The border town there, I can't remember the name of it offhand, but it's literally like just it's lawless. There are no police. There's nothing. There's just guys with guns and cars.
Mhm.
And so we get off the bus to have to go through customs from leaving Colombia to get to Venezuela. And they're just like, yeah, no, you can't come in. Canadians are not welcome. Our foreign minister didn't show up for a meeting that week. So Venezuela was just like, yeah, no, we're not going to accept Canadians anymore, just on a whim. Um, and so we're like, whoa, what are we supposed to do? They're like, well, go take a taxi. And I look around, I was like, there's no like when you think taxi, you think yellow cab or whatever,
Yeah.
blue line. It's just guys, like I said, with guns in their belts and cars. They're the taxis. And I was like, okay. And everyone on the bus, they're all locals or, from that area. And they're like, yeah, we can't leave you here. We'll just get you back on the bus. So they literally had to sneak us back on the bus. Um, hid us under like pile of jackets and bags and stuff.
Right.
Because as you enter Venezuela, there's then military checkpoints, multiple. So we had to like get off the bus. And so like we would get off the bus and like sneak, like literally we had all it was all coordinated. Everyone was trying to help us like sneak into the line that had already been checked. So they didn't have to get to check our
Mm.
passports because we didn't get stamps to enter the country. Um, we successfully somehow got in. It's at night too. So it's like we're just looking out, there's barrel fires along the side of the road and stuff. It's like, anyways, we get to where we're going, Managua, I think. No, that's not right. Maracaibo. Anyways, this could be a long story. I'll try and make it shorter. But we then get to Maracaibo, get to the airport. We are able to successfully just give our like license, our ID to get on the airplane. They didn't ask for a passport. They accepted that. But when we landed, because we were going to Margarita Island, different island from the ABC Islands to meet my girlfriend's mother and her family there, which is like a nice tourist destination. Like that's if you're going to go to Venezuela, that's where you would go. But when we land, they ask for a passport, which doesn't have an entrance stamp, so that is an issue. So they hold us there for a while, trying to figure out what's going on. We try to explain it to them. They're like, "Well, you have to go to Caracas and get a stamp. You have to go to the embassy. You have to go right now." And the problem is, this is like the previous president, Chavez, was on his deathbed. He actually, I believe, had already died, but they hadn't announced it. But he was on his deathbed, so like the unrest was bubbling, and there was like half the country are Chavistas, they're supporters, and the other half are not. So like kind of almost a civil war.
Right.
My girlfriend's uncle was stabbed while we were there because he's a Chavista, and he was, yeah. Anyways, and so they tried to make us to go to Caracas right there on the spot, and luckily, like my girlfriend's mom was there, being like, they're just children. Don't make them do it. So luckily they let us basically give us a week so we could go to Margarita Island, spend the week, and then go to Caracas when we come back.
Okay, gotcha.
So we did that. But while we were there, Chavez died, or they announced that he died. So the country did kind of erupt in violence. And we then went to Valencia to stay with a cousin. And Valencia is just like a city. And so there are no tourists there, or not at this time. And so I can't really leave like the compound. I'm like just like stuck inside. I would go for jogs around like the parking lot just to get outside. And it was literally like felt like I was like imprisoned a bit. And like when I would go out to the store or something, like I would get looks and like comments about Gringo and so it was like, yeah, it was a kind of an unnerving time because you hear about all the stuff that's happening out there. Eventually, and we couldn't go to Caracas at that point. Caracas was like riots happening,
up in flames.
Couldn't go there. So eventually a friend of a friend knew a military official who we just handed over our passports, hoping for the best, hoping we'd get them back.
Right.
And I think we paid $1,000 US each to get a stamp on our passport.
That's crazy.
Just so that we could leave the country. But the problem was we left Colombia. So you have an exit stamp at the like 27th of the month or something. They gave us an entrance stamp into Venezuela for the first of the month. But there's like 3 days there that are unaccounted for. That if anyone notices, they're going to be like, okay, what's going on here? So we get to the airport to go fly to, I think we're going back to Panama or to Miami. I don't remember. And just the whole time we're like sweating, like, is this going to be accepted? But there is an official who works at the airport who knows we're coming.
Right.
And so we're like, this should be good. But like everything that could go wrong did during that trip. Like they wanted to check our bags. I think just coincidentally, they stopped us. They're like, no, we're checking your bag. We're like, we're done for. They're on to us.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 things just kept happening where they'd stop us. They'd take our passports, go up into the room. I think it was just because we're like, who are these 2 white people coming from Venezuela while all this is happening? What is like, what's
it's a little suspicious for sure. And I mean, like, you got a suspicious look to you, right?
Yeah. They must have noticed the passport difference. I think they questioned us on it. And like, at this point we're leaving. So they're just kind of like, okay, get out of here. And then we go in line and we know that this is the person who's supposed to take our passport that knows we're coming. And you can tell they see us and they get nervous. And I'm like, okay. And then hand on my shoulder, they pull me back out. They want to search my bag again. Finally, we get through. The person's like, just go. The next day, get out. And we're like, not till the plane takes off are we like, are we out? We're good?
Jesus.
So anyways, it was a nerve-wracking experience. It was kind of crazy, but yeah, similar to being well,
It's almost
property
the exact
admins
same
are.
as
Yeah.
being stuck in a nice apartment with two kitties. Yeah, like it's almost comparable.
Yeah.
But no, like it's funny because, well, I guess it's not that funny, but we're booked for this cruise now. Real estate investor summit at sea. It's going down. We're all excited. February 14th. Oh, it's gonna be like a 10-day. Like we're gonna be on a nice cruise. We're gonna go to these islands. It's beautiful. And then all of a sudden, like this stuff happens. Like Trump, like kidnaps was what people are dubbing it as, but extracts the acting, I guess, president of Venezuela,
Yeah.
and brings him and his wife here. Everything's going crazy. China's upset, Russia's upset, people are upset, and then me and Lindsay are like, "Well, is this going to affect the cruise at all?" And then like we kind of go look, and then we realize that the ABC Islands are right above Venezuela, and then now there's it's like a red flag, and there's like a no-fly zone, and all this kind of stuff. And then we're watching these videos on YouTube about how all the warships are parked like right by the islands. Like if you
Yeah.
look at the videos, it's so funny how close the warships are. And then like I make a post online, and my mom's like, she's like, well, at least you guys will have like some cool like visuals of like the cool warships, and like think about how secure you are. Like you guys get your own security. Like warships, what's more secure than warships? Like come on, like you guys are set. Like
Yeah. I don't know what Venezuela's army is like, and if they have capability to shoot missiles at those warships.
I don't think it's so much about the Venezuelans. I think it's more about like what if China tries to react, or what if like we're kind of like in a pathway of
Yeah.
like
Right.
it's
Right.
kind of like we're right there. So
Yeah.
you just never know, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's a little uneasy. I've been seeing a lot of people in the group chats kind of going off about what's going on, what's the refund policy. Like people are trying to back out, and Mario kind of had mentioned that worst case, if there is still stuff going on, there's still turmoil going on, that they'll probably take us to other ports that are a little bit safer.
Yeah.
So the ABC Islands may be changing to something else. Who knows, right? But
Right.
currently
Yeah.
we're
They
still.
probably. Well, I don't know. This is who could have seen this coming, really, but they must have some sort of contingencies.
Yeah,
So
I guess we'll find out. But
yeah.
anyways, cool stories. And yeah, like that's another connection that we made at one of the expands, and then also going to the other expand is actually where we locked it in. So first expand Edmonton, second expand Mississauga. Mississauga one is where we ended up kind of like sealing the deal for the real estate summit at sea. And we also made more connections at the next expand there, which was cool. And just working with Alfonso and them has been a lot of fun. Alfonso's a really cool character, and their team's awesome. Like Sam has been amazing just to work with, the back and forth and just getting things done. And Peter's been helping getting things uploaded, and just all the different people, Millie's, and everybody that's on the team there has been awesome. And obviously his wife's Helene is they're like so fun. Like a lot of good energy, and like we were talking about earlier, trying to kind of have clients that you also align with, and I feel like we align with them on a lot of different levels, like the Wealth Genius team, Tara, and even Ryan, like Ryan leaving his career to take on the real estate investing world. Like it reminds me a lot of even yourself, like kind of taking a leap and becoming a realtor. And I know you're into the real estate investing as well, and you're a Wealth Genius member and all these types of things. So like it's really cool to align ourselves with some really cool clients like that. And looking forward to 2026 here, where again, we have the cruise coming up. Yes, we have Alberta coming up. Yes, we have Africa coming up. These are things that are already pre-scheduled from last year, but now we get to plant new seeds and have even more new connections and work with some new people and help others. And right now I was on Jan's podcast yesterday, and they're with the Adair Property Group, and I think that we might be able to work with them soon on a few different things, and so looking forward to that. But just so many other people too, like obviously we could sit here for hours and talk about all the different people that we've connected with in the last year, and some of the plans we have upcoming. But it's exciting stuff. And we are going to start doing these lives more, which we were supposed to do last year, but we got really busy last year, and yourself including, because I know you launched even another business last year.
Yeah.
So it was, a lot going on, plus being a realtor, being a family man, myself also being a family man, having other companies as well. We also launched a business as well. We launched Balloon Bar.
Love that. Which
was really cool. I know you launched a cleaning company. east out of Hamilton area.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like, busy, right? And yeah, this is the beginning of the year. So just imagine, all the different mountains we're going to climb, literally in Africa and metaphorically as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's cool. It's good to look back. I really like at this time of year when because sometimes you feel stuck or you feel like, oh, like, starting over, because it's a reset. You start over every year
Mhm.
from zero. And so it is good to look back and be like, oh yeah, I did this and I did this. And, it gives you some stuff to feel good about. And like, it's been a tough year for a lot of people in business, in real estate, it just in general. So I think looking back at some of the good stuff really can kind of give you a little bit of oomph to start the new year. And I think, like you said, we're going to do this. We're going to do our weekly live is what we're trying to do. I put it in the calendar. That's my big thing. I'm rejigging my calendar today and really want to just stick to my time blocks. So yeah, weekly we're going to do this at noon on Tuesdays, and I think the next one we should talk about what we're looking at doing 2026 goals,
Mhm.
what our plans are and all that stuff.
Yeah.
As we
Yeah.
kind of look back here, we'll look forward in the next one. But
Yeah, because we've already been talking about a lot of different things, and we do have things, like I say, in stone already. But we have some plans to kind of vamp things up, and as we always do. And it's like new year, new me type of situation. But
yeah,
what can we do to be helping our clients better? What can we be doing to bettering our business? All of these things, right? Is so
mhm,
important to
yeah,
dive on. So I'm looking forward to that next week. I'll make sure I have some stuff prepared for you, and you have some stuff prepared for me, and we'll do our own homework, and we'll have some ideas. We'll do a brainstorm session right here live, and kind of like talk about some
cool.
of the things.
Yeah, I love that.
Awesome.
Awesome, man.
All right. Well, appreciate you, and anyone watching. Appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, see you on the tripod.
We'll see you there.
All right. Enjoy your day.
Peace.